pants. Mary Quants.
Should give them back to her, they look flipping painful.
Hi everyone, Andy Oliver here for the UK premiere here in Leicester Square of Nigel Cole's new movie, Made in Dagenham. The story is about the fight for equal rights for women and wage equality. We'll be hoping to speak to some of the stars of the red carpet tonight here in Leicester Square, and you can see all the footage here exclusively on premierscene.net.
Word of advice. If I nod, you nod. Got that?
We always get told that the 60s were swinging, but this movie tends to say that it wasn't that, was it? Especially in the workplace.
No, it certainly wasn't swinging in the workplace. I couldn't wait to leave it because it didn't swing. But there were only certain, even parts of London were swinging. It was just, and it was very much media hyped. But this is how it was, actually. It's a very authentic movie. Everything's been so well researched. I couldn't really fault anything, not even the designs.
They'd have gone on strike years ago, just having to turn up in a pig eye like this.
You'll always come second until
We
you...
get equal pay, yeah.
What was it like working on a predominantly female cast, female set?
Complete nightmare. No, they were lovely, and the girls naturally had a great, banter between them, and I think that was something that Nigel Cole, our director, really encouraged, and all of that sort of camaraderie, you need that in the film, and that comes through in spades when you watch the film. So, no, they're a great group of people, that's the great thing about this film also, is that it's packed full of fantastic performances from women, and there's always been an age-old criticism of movies that there aren't enough female parts written, and we're awash with amazing female actresses at the moment, the likes of Gemma Arterton and Sally Hawkins and Andrea Riseborough, who's in this film, is a phenomenal talent. So I think not only is it a celebration of the Ford female workers, but it's a celebration of these great actresses as well.
This needs a leader.
Right.
To inspire the girls.
We got to demand pay which reflects the job you do, not whether you got a dick or not.
What was the 60s really like in the workplace?
We had a good time. It's what you're making.
Yes.
If you make it miserable, you're miserable. If you go into work wanting to go to work, which we did, it was fine. Conditions weren't great, but then you get over that. But we had some really good times.
Proud of you. We all are, aren't we? Sticking to your guns.
I understand your grievance.
Bollocks. I never usually use that type of language.
Don't you?
No.
Because I called Mr. Clark a complete cock.
Oh!
What does Nigel Cole bring to a movie set? He's obviously well known for Calendar Girls and working with big female casts. What does he bring to a movie set? What's his best characteristics on a movie set?
I think Nigel is very, very calm. He's a very calm presence. He has great leadership qualities. He's very, very creative. And I really like the way that he directs. He's very quiet with the actors. He allows them to be creative. He gives them a free rein, but he also gives them a direction to go in. And I think for me, one of the wonderful things in the film that I saw him do is when Sally Hawkins' character comes back after the first meeting and stands on the soapbox and says, "Everybody out. Everybody out!" I remember when we were filming it, she says it in such a quiet voice. And as the producer, I thought, oh my God, she should be standing up and shouting. But of course, that would have given her nowhere to build to. And the arc of her performance that she figured out with Nigel, I think is so superb, as with all the performances. And you need to have a great director.
I guess you didn't want to make the characters caricatures because they were based on real life people.
No, absolutely. We did a lot of research. We met the real women. We filmed the real women. We looked at loads of archive material, read archive material. It was very, very important to us that the real women, the real TUC members would see the film and give it their seal of approval, and they've absolutely loved it. They've been so generous in their compliments and their response to the movie.
Were they on set a lot, the real ladies? Were they on set a lot?
No, they didn't come on set at all. And in fact, I think they just didn't really, they didn't know what the movie business was. These producers turn up in Dagenham and say, we want to make a film, and they didn't know if it was going to happen, but they're here tonight. They said to me, oh my God, this feels like a dream. I think I'm going to wake up. I said, don't wake up yet, because you've got Rome and New York to go to first.
Equal pay? Christ.
Shit.
Come on then, girls.
I want to meet them.
Minister, it'll just encourage them.
That's my girl.
Give credence to their cause.
Their cause already has credence. It is equal pay.
How did you get involved with this movie?
I got sent the script by the producers, and I immediately could see that this was a really great story for our times. It's an empowering story, and a story about people standing up for what they believe in, and I think it's a good time to tell that. I also thought it was really funny. And to tell an important story, but to tell it with humour and to make it entertaining. I think that's the holy grail for any filmmaker.
The 1960s, I said to one of the other cast members, it's always say the swinging 60s, that's what we always hear. But this movie doesn't say that really. It wasn't all about that in the workplace.
I think the swinging 60s was a revolution that happened to middle class people. It happened to the wealthy. I think you had to be quite secure to tune in, turn on and drop out, you know. And these women were too busy working. They were too busy struggling to feed their families to get involved in the 60s revolution. And so although you can feel it in the air in the movie, and although it impacts on their lives from time to time, it's really, it's much more a story about ordinary people who are kind of standing up for what they believe in.
It's an important message that has to come across, doesn't it? And I think it may be important for the modern generation to know what's gone on before, maybe.
I think so, and I think if you can look at these women's stories and think maybe I could do that, maybe I could stand up and say I don't want to be pushed around anymore. And I think that's a great thing to say to an audience.
Cheeky!
The character in the movie is married to Geraldine James, and he has suffered a breakdown as a result of after war shock, shell shock, and he's really there to sort of demonstrate the difficulties that the women have, what their home life is like. It's really about the women in this film, but they're in the context of having to go out and strike, how hard it was for them to go out and strike and make the effort, and why it was hard, and it was hard for Geraldine because she had me at home.
She's a shop steward in the movie, isn't she? Shop
steward. She was, and I was a bit of a hospital case at home and a bit of a walking wounded, and it was difficult for her to leave, and a lot of emotional blackmail. So, you know, that's.
It's strange how the times change, because my experience of working in a workplace, that the unions have kind of disappeared and the shop stewards have disappeared now. They're not around as much, are they?
For Thatcher, weren't there? The unions, when she made it non-compulsory to be a union member to work, it changed the structure of the union, so the unions were immediately disempowered, which was what she wanted to do.
Oh my God. I fought Rommel in the war. I wasn't once scared like I am when I walk in there.
How did you get involved with the movie?
Well, I got involved because I was... back in '68, I picked up a newspaper and turned to page 5. On page 5, there was a tiny little article about these women on strike for equal pay in Dagenham. And I thought this should be front page news. It never was. It never was. You know, and I
mean, it's changed the course of history now. Without these ladies, who knows what would have happened in the present day?
You say that, it's changed. But in 1975, Barbara Castle made paying women unequal pay, right, illegal. But they're still doing it. They're still getting away with it. You know, it's a liberty.
It's nice to speak to you, Bob. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Cheers, thank you.
Please keep going. Don't give up.
Every single one of us is entitled to the same pay as men.
Your character's a tough character, a tough woman, but she gets through life with a smile on her face, doesn't she?
She's interviewed with a smile on her face. What, Rita? Yeah. Well, Rita's. I hope that she's sort of come back to life. She's helping me do this at the moment. Yeah, I think the only way to do a red carpet event is as Rita O'Grady. Yeah, she does it with such class. Yeah, I can only learn from that.
Go! We're not entirely on phone!
I know the feeling.
We spoke to Sally Hawkins, the legendary Bob Hoskins, and director Nigel Cole. The movie opens nationwide on October the 1st. This is Andy Oliver signing out for premierscene.net.
What if the minister says no deal?
Yeah, how will you cope then?
Cope? We're women. Now, don't ask such stupid questions.